Again, I am Sandra Gary. I am a 45-year resident of Seneca Falls.
Area.
Can't hear me? Can you hear me now?
Speak into it.
1, 2, 3.
Louder.
1, 2, 3.
There you go.
I am a 45-year resident of Seneca Falls. I am here this evening to oppose the permit renewal for Seneca Meadows landfill and to support the passage of local law number 7. The area residents of the beautiful Finger Lakes region have had enough. Enough of the ever-growing mountain of trash brought in by Seneca Meadows and their parent company, Waste Connections. Enough of the entourage of garbage trucks peppering our roads each day. Enough of the compromised quality of life we must endure by the putrid stench emanating from the dump. Therefore, it is time to end the monstrous, out-of-control invasion of our community by Seneca Meadows. Time to think less about the money and more about the healthy future of our children and our precious grandchildren. It is time for us to take back our community. It is time for you, Mr. Lazaro and Mr. Peretta, to stop patronizing Seneca Meadows and to begin to do what is right for the long-term environmental health and well-being of our community. That is what you were elected to do. Thank you to Annette Lutz, Mary Saratori, and Dave DeLaylis for fighting for the future of our area and for the well-being of our children and grandchildren. In closing, I appeal to all of you to oppose the renewal of the SMI lease agreement and to pass local law number 7. Amen.
She's going to talk about It's a Wonderful Life.
Good evening. So I'm Onway Law and I'm representing the It's a Wonderful Life Festival Committee. We may not think about it, but it's only 3 months away for the It's a Wonderful Life Festival. I've often said that this town has been given a great gift, and that gift is in association with this wonderful movie, It's a Wonderful Life, and the message that is timeless and deals with promoting the value of each person, celebrating the value of each person. It fits really well with the history of women's rights and human rights in our town. So this year, for the first time, 3 of the Bailey kids will be here for the It's a Wonderful Life Festival, and to help us celebrate the 70th anniversary of the premiere of the film. They'll be joined by Donna Reed's daughter and Frank Capra's granddaughter and many other special guests. Last year, people from at least 19 states and different parts of Canada traveled to Seneca Falls for the It's a Wonderful Life Festival. Visitors from California, Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Texas, New Hampshire, Vermont, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Ohio, Michigan, Illinois, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Maine, Virginia, New Jersey, and from all over New York State came to experience the familiarity, friendship, traditions, renewal of hope, and the spirit of the real Bedford Falls. During the festival, we also communicated with audiences watching the film in England and Scotland. We greatly appreciate the town's support each year and would like to officially request the $4,000 in the budget for this year. It's an important investment in the economic future of this town, as well as an investment in our town's historic belief in promoting the value of each individual. Thank you.
Next petitioner is Kenneth Curry.
My name is Kenneth Gary. I grew up in Seneca Falls. I'm the son of 45-year Seneca Falls residents, John and Sandy Gary. I was born and raised in the village of Seneca Falls. I own a small business here in Seneca Falls. Today, the town board received our petition, 620 signatures, and 241 comments requesting that the town board enact a law that will end landfill operations in Seneca Falls. Our petition can be found at closesenecameadows.org. I'd like to thank Dave DeLaylis, Mary Saratori, and Annette Lutz for doing the right thing and giving the community hope for a landfill-free community. On the flip side, Pat Morrell In 2009, you advised and facilitated the dissolution of the village of Seneca Falls. The community is worse off today than it was prior to your work and advice. Pat Morrell, you're still sitting there collecting checks as the town attorney and advising the town board on legal matters. The reality of this town is New York's largest landfill and polluter is growing in the town's backyard, the largest landfill in New York. It's poisoning the region's air, water, spreading fear and propaganda on this community. Abandoned homes litter the neighborhoods. Supposedly there's not enough in the town reserve to break the addiction to the landfill's revenue. New businesses have no interest in establishing themselves here, and residents continue to abandon this town. Pat Morrell, you undermined the foundation of this community 7 years ago. The town now has, and I have every right to speak.
Excuse me.
I have every right to speak, and I am not done. The town now has a once in a decade.
Demeaning our lawyer.
The town now has the opportunity, in a once in a decade opportunity, to implement local law number 7 and begin repairing this sickened community. Morrell and Lazaro have shown that they are uncooperative with the board in moving towards closure. Morrell advised the board not to follow through with the trash train stop work order. Meeting after meeting, Morrell continues to play into fears and read threats from landfill attorney letters like he's reading the law. Pat, you're doing a great job of selling the landfill and the new host community agreement. You have a bright future in waste management sales for a multi-billion-dollar community destroyer. The word you used, Mr. Morrell, a few weeks ago with board members that disagreed with you is irresponsible. I think the proper word for a town attorney working on behalf of Seneca Meadows is unethical. You're clearly not concerned about the future of this town, region, or the people. People expect you and the elected officials of Seneca Falls to make decisions that are in the best interests of this community. Yet in the past 7 years, Pat Morrell, your decisions have proven to be convenient and self-serving to you while destructive to this community.
I would ask that the petitioners be tolerant of differences of opinion. We in a democratic society have a right to opinions, and we don't have a right to demean other people. That is inciting people, and that is wrong. And I do not like to hear those words at this meeting. If you have a respectful difference of opinion, we will listen. But if you demean someone, that is wrong. Thank you. Our next petitioner is Allison Stokes.
My name is Allison Stokes. I own a home just down West Barrett Street from here. And I want to take a moment to connect our deliberations about town issues and concerns to national events. 3 months ago, on Tuesday, June 7th, the night that Seneca Falls was holding its monthly board meeting, a woman made U.S. history. A former First Lady, New York State Senator, Secretary, New York Senator, not State Senator, I gotta get that right, and Secretary of State, she became a presidential candidate. I want to share her opening words as she acknowledged the nomination that night in Brooklyn. She said, "Thanks to you, we've reached a milestone. The first time in our nation's history that a woman will be a major party's nominee. It's not about one person. It belongs to generations of women and men who struggled and sacrificed and made this moment possible. In our country, it started right here in New York, in a place called Seneca Falls, in 1848, when a small but determined group of women and men came together with the idea that women deserved equal rights. And they set it forth in something called the Declaration of Sentiments. And it was the first time in human history that that kind of declaration occurred, so we all owe so much to those who came before. Her nomination and words about Seneca Falls made a difference to our town this summer. Tourist traffic to the Women's Rights National Historical Park doubled, and their gift and bookstore sales soared. Many of us remarked about the increased traffic and activity in town. 2 months from today, on Tuesday, November 8th, it is possible that this female candidate will win the presidential election. If this happens, the significance for Seneca Falls will be enormous. I offer this not as a partisan political statement, but as a simple fact. There will be a direct historic line from Elizabeth Cady Stanton, who courageously called for women's right to vote, to Hillary Rodham Clinton, the first female to be elected President of the United States of America. And perhaps you've heard the speculation that one day Clinton may choose Seneca Falls as the site of her presidential library. Think of what the tourist traffic would be then. Think of the business opportunities. Why do I take meeting time tonight to offer these observations? I do it to make the important point that what we do locally matters. The fact is, the history of Seneca Falls isn't just behind us, done with, over. National history here is still in the making. Far more than we can imagine. Paths taken now and decisions made in Seneca Falls in the coming weeks and months will impact our national identity. To my way of thinking, one sure way of screwing up Seneca Falls' promising future would be to give Progressive Waste Solutions another 10-year permit to continue dumping on our community. Let's not let that happen.
Thank you, Mr. Cook. Our next petitioner is Linda Oakes.
Women's rights started in Waterloo, but the women had their convention in Waterloo, so they can do
Good evening. Can you guys hear? I'm here tonight in support of Seneca Falls passing proposed local law number 7. This law is necessary to protect the health and well-being of not just Seneca Falls alone, but the entire Finger Lakes region of New York. Seneca Falls has reached the point where it is no longer in the best interest of the region to allow Seneca Meadows to continue business here. They have continually violated their host benefit agreement and have shown a disregard for the health and living conditions of the people in our area. At least 15 years of trying to control their noxious odors from escaping from their footprint has not worked. Apologies are not enough. We need clean air, water, and land to live, and they are a detriment to that end. You are charged with making a decision on whether to let the landfill continue to do business in this town or slowly close the operation down. The landfill is trying to get you to agree to another host benefit agreement, which I am sure includes more money and promises of no odor. It is time to look at the fact that no amount of money will protect the health of our communities. You need to look at this situation objectively and realize there is no compromise in this situation. It's either the landfill continues or starts shutting down. All the scare tactics that the landfill employs, such as the nice glossy flyers they have continuously bombarded us with, is nothing but that. A scare tactic to get what they want, to keep our region shackled to bringing in thousands of tons of other people's waste forever and ever to our detriment, but reaping huge profits for them. The only tax rate that would actually be affected by the landfill closing would be the Seneca Falls Town tax. Not all the tax rates would be affected by the closing of the landfill business, and that town rate would not be affected for several years to come, possibly. So I checked and it was $5.37 per 100,000. So if that goes up double, it's not as bad as what they're making it out that the whole town is going to close down, not right. Seneca Meadows would still have to pay their property taxes as well, even if the landfill does close in several years. Seneca Falls will survive the closure of Seneca Meadows. Other businesses will come here to make the Finger Lakes their home, and life will go on, but in a healthier climate. I understand there are already several businesses thinking of doing business here. Work with them to make it happen, and you will be surprised at how fast things turn around. Nature abhors a vacuum, and things will evolve, and life will be better for all of us if this landfill comes to an end. Seneca Meadows is trying to scare people regarding tipping fees as well. For years, Seneca Falls has enjoyed no tipping fees for dumping. The entire county adds 22,000 tons to the landfill a year. Let's do the math. That's like 4 days of business for them, and the rest is gravy. If recycling, reducing, reusing, and composting are encouraged, very little garbage will need to go to another landfill in the region. A pay-as-you-throw program could be implemented, and you would only pay for what you throw out. This is another situation that would make Seneca Falls more sustainable. It takes courage and willingness to work to make changes that will protect the community. I hope you know the right thing to do for the community is to make the business decision to pass local law number 7 and start a new chapter in Seneca Falls history. The Finger Lakes region is counting on you. Thank you.